from steam power which sparked the Industrial Revolution, to the electric telegraph that connected nations.
History is marked by discoveries that have transformed our world.
Each has demanded a leap into the unknown. Those who embraced change thrived, while others were left behind. And now, it's the dawn of a new era.
But this time we stand on the precipice of a far, far deeper transformation.
Join us on this journey to discover how AI will redefine our world.
Will you take the leap?
Perhaps you are the kind of person to have fond memories of school. Many of us don't. It seemed like we would spend all of our time on things that we couldn't wrap our minds around, and not enough time on the things that actually interested us. Now imagine instead that learning was tailored to each individual student, that they would have the opportunity to deeply immerse themselves in subjects that fascinate them and develop their unique talents at their own pace. Thanks to the advancement of artificial intelligence, this vision is becoming an increasingly tangible reality. To guide us through the fascinating world of AI, I present to you the physicist, the founder of the foundation, Nauka, To Lubio, and our host, Tomasz Różek.
Does education make sense at all in the AI era? What makes this revolution?
In the context of education in particular, one thing that is super significant is the individualization of learning. So the fact that algorithms nowadays can adjust to exactly your specific needs. So it's perfect customization of learning.
This makes it possible to precisely adjust the pace of learning, the difficulty level of tasks, and the type of materials to the individual needs and learning style of each young person. This allows students to discover their strengths, fill knowledge gaps, and develop in areas that truly interest them. Let's examine how AI is preparing us for a rapidly changing world, equipping us with the skills necessary to meet the new challenges of the future. To help us with this, we will be joined by one of Poland's most respected AI experts, Aleksandra Przegalinska.
There are multiple benefits of personalized education, and I think the first one is really that it feels like this education is for you. We can imagine a situation where every student has an AI assistant that is tracking their progress and then can send that information to the parents in order to update them on what is the student really struggling with, what's helpful, which types of exercises work for them and which don't. So I think it's a great support tool for the parents to know what's really happening in the classroom environment, similarly for the teacher.
E-learning platforms, equipped with advanced artificial intelligence algorithms, automatically adjust the difficulty level of tasks, the pace of learning, and the type of materials to the individual needs of each student. It's like having your own private tutor who not only imparts knowledge, but also motivates and supports you in discovering new talents.
Is it good to fully customize?
Yeah, it's absolutely, by all means. I mean, is it good to have shoes that fit perfectly? Yeah, I would say it's pretty damn good. And education is just the same thing, because the algorithms are able to know when you need to repeat something not to forget. The algorithms need what you have problems with. It will help you also in stuff that in a regular class you wouldn't be able to catch up with. The regular teacher only has so much time to deal with individual students' needs. And here you have perfect adjustments. There is this startup in China called Squirrel AI. And what their business model relies on is that they are trying to provide sort of individual tutors to math students. And having an individual tutor is expensive. We all know, even in Poland, it's expensive. But if you can outsource it to AI, which is either almost as good or good enough, basically, it's amazing because people who couldn't afford a tutor will be able to afford a quality educational service for a fraction of the price.
Alexandra Przegalinska has provided us with her avatar so that our participants can speak directly to an AI.
Greetings, I am Alexandra Przegalinska's avatar.
Hi, I'm Stach.
Imagine that I am as alive as you are.
I'm curious about AI.
I grown up with my friends outside without connection to the world through internet. And you are a mystery to me.
What would you like to know? I'm always looking for new opportunities to connect with people.
And what are the predictions of artificial intelligence, how it can help young people in their educational process?
Let's imagine that you have 20 students in a classroom. Some of these kids are very gifted when it comes to humanities or social sciences, and yet others are very gifted when it comes to math or physics, for instance. So the way a teacher could use artificial intelligence for all these different students is, for instance, when it comes to a mathematical exercise, it can be presented to the students using generative AI in multiple different ways. You can have a storytelling type of exercise where that exercise is presented as a story that appeals to those students who are gifted when it comes to humanities. And then for those students who prefer very formal, quick types of mathematical explanations, the exercise can be presented exactly in that form. So you can use artificial intelligence to diversify the same type of tasks to everyone, keep the content, but present it in a way that's appealing to different students, their gifts and talents.
What's your name?
I'm Teresa.
Tell me something about yourself, please. I am very curious.
So I'm in the last grade of high school. I really enjoy playing volleyball or tennis. I'm really into like sports and maybe dancing.
How do you feel about learning with the help of AI? Do you think it can make your studies more interesting or challenging?
It's an amazing opportunity to learn something with AI, and it's just super exciting because I have somebody I can talk to, I can ask for anything, and AI will know how to answer it.
That's great. That's a wonderful perspective, Teresa. AI really can make learning more interactive and personalized.
Where do you get the answers from? How do I know that data that you are providing to my children are not from any companies or people who want to influence on them, for example, for buying some products or having some other advantages through the answer that you give them?
That's a valid concern. My answers are based on a broad range of sources, like textbooks, educational materials, and general knowledge. I'm designed to provide information that is as unbiased and accurate as possible. I don't promote any products or have any hidden agendas. My main goal is to provide helpful and reliable information. If you're ever in doubt, I encourage you to cross-check what I say with trusted sources. Tell me about your daughter's school environment, and are there areas where she feels less confident?
Right now, she's in a homeschooling, so she has a lot of time for herself and finding out who she is, who she wants to be. But what she may need from you, from your help, is to find out her strengths.
It's great that she has the time to explore her interests and identity. Helping her identify her strengths can be a powerful way to build her confidence. You can encourage her to ask herself questions like, what activities make me lose track of time? Or, when do I feel most proud of myself? As a parent, you can help by observing when she seems happiest or most engaged. Then, share those observations with her.
how can AI help me with choosing my dream university in dream city?
That's a great question, Teresa. AI can help you choose your dream university in several ways. It can analyze your academic strengths, interests, and career goals to match you with universities that offer programs tailored to your needs. Plus, AI-powered platforms can provide insights into campus life, financial aid options, and even help with the application process. Is there a specific area or program that you're interested in?
There are now at least a couple of very interesting recommendation systems. You are a student, you've just taken core courses, and now you're thinking, which courses would align with my interests, but also could take me one step further to my desired career. And here you have an AI that has this whole list of different courses, say 1,000 of elective courses, and it's picking something for you, shortlisting the types of courses you could be taking that can really match that goal of yours. And I think this is a good example of nicely personalized education.
My name is Kasia.
Can you tell me about your experience as a teacher?
I've been working as a teacher for 18 years. I worked in the primary school. Nowadays, I work in the kindergarten with children at the age of 3.
How do you imagine us collaborating in the future?
I hope that we will be collaborating. I believe that you will help me to prepare some diverse educational ads.
I think one of the most fundamental changes will be the changing role of a teacher. And typically, we have a teacher who is trying to deliver everything. It's pretty much like a Google and an encyclopedia and somebody who's trying to coach you. In fact, this element, this coaching element, conversational one, is the one that will stay. Because I think in education, one of the most important parts in teaching is the interaction with the teacher, with fellow peer students. But there are things that you do not really have to have the teacher for. You do not even have to have other classmates for. Things like memorization, making sure you understand things, repetition, stuff that actually you need only to interact with yourself with. So for that, AI is a marvelous tool that will definitely help. By my estimates, more than 80% of the time that you need for teaching can be outsourced to algorithms and AI machines. So down the road, we'll have to rethink how we organize education in the school.
We do see how teachers are using artificial intelligence. Even simple automation can be very helpful in grading the tests of students and then providing additional feedback about how many did well, what percentage of them failed, and that already is a very good support for educators, and it's been like that for a couple of years already. Now, another thing is that if a teacher wants to write written feedback to all the students in a personalized form, quite often they may want to prompt a generative AI assistant to write that specific piece of information for the student, that feedback, and do it in a given style that the student could read and could understand very well. So I think that's already being very helpful, and I know about many cases of teachers doing that.
I'm excited to tell you some predictions about how your child's education might be influenced by AI in the future. Let's look at how AI might shape education in the future.
How you can imagine Polish school in 10 years from now on?
One of the things that I really dream about is having a dashboard with educational data coming from all schools, all districts, straight to the ministry, but of course with all the district schools and whatnot, principals having access to it, that will allow us to track the progress of students, what are the pieces of material they have trouble with, which regions are doing better, which are doing worse. Instant feedback, in other words. But to have this instant feedback, we'll have to have an educational platform that will help you memorize things, but also will track your progress. And then, at any level you check, we will know exactly what age children have the problem with the world, let's say, denouement. What is exactly the best age to make an intervention and teach them this word? What age do children struggle with equations, some sort of equations? Then we know exactly. And in each topic, physics, geography, we'll know what pieces are maybe too difficult, maybe too easy, what pieces need to be replaced, or if there are regional differences.
I have asked about the influence on education And what about structure of school? You have said we don't need, or maybe we will not need classes anymore. How you can imagine how the school will look like in 10 years?
Well, to be fair, I honestly think that the traditional class will exist and it's super important. Over the last several thousands of years, we have established a pretty good system of using the traditional classroom for education. However, maybe we can load balance the time that is spent in this particular modality with something else. I think the teacher face-to-face time is precious.
I'm afraid that children will not develop their emotional and social abilities because of AI.
I cannot imagine how that's a good situation where each and every student studies alone. I think a big part of education is about socialization and being together, understanding group dynamics and being in different parts of different groups and really maturing in that way, in that social way as well. So yes, I think the answer is if you want the students to sit in front of computer screens and just get personalized course given to them by an avatar, it's a possibility, but it's a very unfortunate type of scenario that I think none of us would really want.
Let me put it this way. There's a huge criticism of people attacking each other with knives. However, surprisingly, people are totally fine with you eating a steak with a knife. The same goes with technology. Sure, screen time in itself is neutral. It depends on what you're doing with the screen. And children who are staying online to watch TikTok, to just basically do the equivalent of a fast food in terms of information intake, this is definitely wrong. It's a wrong diet, wrong informational diet. However, if you give them educational tools, educational platforms that basically save time in making sure they memorize the material they need to memorize, use AI algorithms even for language acquisition or for mathematics, this is marvelous.
Right now, a lot of my classmates have an iPads and stuff like this. And when, like 2 weeks ago, we were writing an essay, and for example, half of my classroom was using ChatGPT to help it.
So it's not about the screen itself, it's about what is on the screen. And I think in this conversation, people will very often overlook the fact that what you do with the phone is much more important than the piece of hardware.
Will AI replace teachers?
Will it happen anytime soon? I'm very doubtful. I think teachers are really good at what they're doing. They're amazing, and this modus operandi of people talking to each other, this is something that really works. But will teachers be replaced by teachers who use AI? Absolutely yes. Teachers who use AI and other algorithms, platforms, will by far be better teachers than the ones that don't.
All the efforts that various educational systems had in automating too much were really, so far, a failure. You can look at Korea, you can look at some examples in Asia. I think artificial intelligence absolutely should not replace teachers. That should just not happen at all. Teachers and human-human connection, mentoring to the students, giving them a perspective is really necessary. I think AI is a very good supplement to that form of education, but it cannot be a replacement.
About ethics, where to put the line?
Let me put it this way. Are knives good or bad? Do we want knives in the society? I would say, yeah, sure, we do need knives, but we do need control, we do need...
Exactly.
Sure, we need to have laws, for example, against attacking somebody with a knife. It doesn't mean we are not going to use knives or sell knives. It means that there needs to be a whole ecosystem of how we interpret what we do with knives, how we execute legal ecosystem, and so on and so forth. AI is wonderful, it's an amazing tool, but in the right hands.
The example with knife, I like it, I really like it. But it's not exactly the case. We know how knife works. We have no idea how AI works. Even specialists, they say, we have no idea what is going on in this black box. That's why I asked whether we can trust it, not because we don't know. We know how to use it. We know how it works. We will never know it, maybe, or at least for some time.
From this point of view, yeah, an AI system is definitely a black box. We do not know how it works. We should not give the control of nukes to them, or we shouldn't really give them a control of anything meaningful fully. But if we look at it this way, that experts who use those systems and eventually make judgment calls are better than those who don't, I would say go for it. In a way, we're externalizing our brain functions to the machines. It's very difficult to put a judgment call whether it's good or bad, but I would say it's not unprecedented. If you look at the GPS system, for example, people who didn't know maps, didn't know GPS, had a much better brain function for searching things, for basically keeping track of where you are, and we've lost it. We just don't have it anymore. Our brains have changed irrevocably because, you know, the GPS does it for you. The same thing will likely happen with AI systems. Some things you will just not have to remember. You will not even have to bother about it. My concern is, are we going to be the same humans that we have been? Probably not. In the next generations, they don't read books as much as we used to. They don't process information the same way we used to. Is it good or is it bad? I would say it's evolution.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks for joining me in the digital world.
So I'm very grateful that you just talked to me and answered my question. That was great.
I'm glad I could help Teresa. It was great chatting with you. Good luck with your studies and your future university adventures. This was great. Let's do this again sometime. I hope this first interaction with an avatar was a positive one for you.